By far one of the greatest videos I've seen today. Oh my God, Mark Zuckerberg, man, just coming with the left and right hook.
All right, guys. So I finally tried Apple's Vision Pro. And, I have to say that before this, I expected that Quest would be the better value for most people since it's really good and it's like 7 times less expensive. But after using it, I don't just think that Quest is the better value. I think that Quest is the better product, period. And, the different companies made different design decisions for the headsets. They have different strengths. But overall, Quest is better for the vast majority of things that people use mixed reality for.
And I agree. Everyone was crapping on Meta Quest 3. I'm using it like 4 or 5 days a week. And the fact is there's applications for it. There's games, there's hangout sessions, there's poker, there's like everything that you need. And you can't do any of that on the Apple Vision Pro.
Now, my friend Kenny is actually capturing this video on Quest's high-resolution mixed reality pass-through right now. We're just here in my living room, and you can see his browser windows and whatever else he's got running up here. So yeah, Quest 3 does high-quality pass-through with big screens, just like Vision.
High quality, though, is debatable because I know the Vision Pro Apple thing is crazy for the quality. That's what everyone's touting. And, the Quest 3 is good, but for the money you're paying, you're going to lose. You're going to gain and lose some stuff. But because the Quest has been around, there's more development. There was more, user growth behind it. And whereas Apple's boating these 200,000 sale unit numbers that are generating billions of dollars, but it's not really that equivalent to the millions that, Meta's sold and has had a lot of development behind.
Pro. But we also designed it to be great for a lot of other things. Moving around, playing games,
yes.
Hanging out with friends and socializing, working out, and more. Quest, I think is just a lot more comfortable. We designed it to weigh 120 grams less, which makes a really big difference on your face. There's no wires that get in the way when you move around. It's a big deal. Our field of view is wider, and I found our screen to be brighter also. I also noticed that Apple's headset has this motion blur as you move around, which Quest is just a lot crisper. Now, Apple's screen does have a higher resolution, and that's really nice.
But like he's saying, the resolution is pinpointed to where you're looking. So if you're moving around a lot or you're doing screen captures, you're seeing the blurred around what you're looking at. Whereas I think even for VR influencers, the Quest is still better because you get an overall better quality of recording as well.
But I was surprised by how many trade-offs they had to make to the quality of the device and the comfort and ergonomics and other aspects of the display and artifacts in order to get to that. Now, for input, Quest supports precision controllers that are great for games. Both headsets support hand tracking, but I found ours to be a little more accurate. Apple's eye tracking is really nice. We actually had those sensors back in Quest Pro. We took them out for Quest 3, and we're going to bring them back in the future. It's a nice interface. It's not perfect for everything, though. For typing or complex tasks, you're going to want things like hands or a keyboard or controllers or eventually a neural interface for those kind of inputs. Quest's immersive content library is a lot deeper.
Yeah, 100%.
We've been working with studios building virtual and mixed reality games and other content for a long time now. And if you want to watch YouTube or play Xbox on a big screen anywhere you go, that's only available on Quest for now.
That's the coolest thing is you can sync an Xbox controller, put a screen up, and just basically live stream your Xbox games. Just obviously it's all online streaming. Xbox is moving away from physical hardware and moving into streaming. They're finally getting that worked out after a lot of bugs and latency issues. And if you've got good internet, hook up your Quest, get a Bluetooth over the Xbox controller, and you can be playing all your Xbox games through the Quest. You don't need to buy multiple things anymore. I think this is the future, right? And the problem is I think Apple was late to the game. They did some things that are exceptionally well, but they need more devs behind it. They need development. They need integration because it's so lonely using the Apple Vision Pro. There's only things you can personally do. There's no interaction with anybody else, which is sad. And without controllers, I always find the tactileness of playing games almost impossible.
So, when I look around, it seems like there are a lot of people who just assumed that Vision Pro would be higher quality because it's Apple and it costs $3,000 more. But, honestly, I'm pretty surprised that Quest is so much better for the vast majority of things that people use these headsets for with that price differential. Now, look, I know that, some fanboys get upset whenever anyone dares to question if Apple's going to be the leader in a new category. But the reality is that every generation of computing has an open and a closed model. And yeah, in mobile, Apple's closed model won. But it's not always that way. If you go back to the PC era, Microsoft's open model was the winner. And in this next generation, Meta is going to be the open model. And I really want to make sure that the open model wins out again. The future is not yet written. So, I want to take a moment to just thank everyone who's been building with us for more than a decade. That goes for both Quest and the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which are doing way better than I even hoped that they would. As the old saying goes, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. So I'll see you all out there.
I honestly think from the downfall that Meta had when their stock price tanked, this is like one of the most incredible recovery stories, not only from a brand, but from the cyborg Mark Zuckerberg that was looked at as some dweeby robotic like dude. I mean, there's been a complete rebranding that has happened just within the last couple of years. I mean, the dude was willing to fight Elon Musk, and it backed down that Elon Musk was the one that kind of timided away from it more or less than anything. I mean, this guy's doing jujitsu, and he just really showed a whole nother side of himself. And now you've got this big battle between, Apple and their version of VR versus what Meta's doing. And honestly, with the resurgence of Meta stock just absolutely rebounding to all-time highs, whereas Apple stock is just struggling in this new environment. I'm just like shocked at what a marvel Meta truly has become, and I'm shocked and delighted that my fiance had more fortitude than I did to continue to hold the stock to now being one of the largest positions in our portfolios, which is it's marvelous, right? I think this is why you got to hold these companies, or at least be cost averaging into the S&P 500, because this is going to be margin expanding, right? Like, we're still in the early days of this stuff, but if you use Quest like I do religiously 4 or 5 days a week, and I can't state that enough. I literally use this thing 4 or 5 days a week for the last 2 years, and I love it. I can't get over it. I use it for a multitude of gaming and other things. It's coming, folks. Like, why go buy an Xbox and all this stuff and all these different things when a lot of it's just going to be condensed down into one of these headsets? I think it's super cool, man. But I'll pass the question off to you. I'd love to know what you think in that comment section below.